r/AskReddit. What is your high school crush doing now? Recently found out I was the high school crush of my high school crush. Oh, the chances we don't take. Until you ask, the answer is always no. And after you ask, a lot of times the answer is still no. Sometimes it's you know. I think he's married to his high school sweetheart. Meanwhile, I just choked on a Dorito. That sucks. I mean, if you choked on a Dorito, then I guess you didn't get to fully enjoy it. Maybe they enjoyed it twice, you never know. 5 kids from 5 different guys. You dodged that bullet. I agree. I feel like Neo. She died far too young. I taught hockey in Canada during summers off from high school. I am American, and met her one summer day on a nearby beach. We fell in love immediately and wrote letters, actual letters, back and forth during the school year, and I would go back to teach again each summer until we graduated high school. Then we would visit each other for months at a time, as long as immigration would allow, for a few years, until one day I asked her to marry me. I never had a doubt that she was the one. I was just worried because I didn't feel like I could offer her much of a life until I realized I was the life she wanted. We shared the happiest years of our lives together until she told me she had been feeling sick and very tired no matter what she did. She died of cancer shortly after. She went so fast. It was like when you light the fuse on a firework. The brief spark she had was just snuffed out. I watched her life just disappear. I held her hand as she vanished into thin air. I still remember the smell of the cancer on her when I kissed her goodbye. I just wanted to pause the world so she could live her life. Then when we were all ready and it was time, she could go peacefully. It just doesn't work that way. I miss her every single day. I lost my heart that day. I wish it was me that died, but at the same time, I would hate myself for leaving her to feel like I do. I was so broken. I still am. I decided that day I could never love like that again. Wherever you are, Natalie, I love you. I haven't spoken of her to anyone in 8 years. I just googled her. Yeah, she's still hot. Did you then Tracy Jordan Google yourself? Married, expecting her second kid. Safe to say she did better with romance than I did. Additional context. His username used to say something along the lines of "send me nudes." Hey, that's okay, champ. Your username implies you are still trying, so that's good. I've given up. Reverse psychology. Interesting tactics, but you'll never get my nudes. He's living with his boyfriend on the coast of California. No, I didn't know he was gay. Same here, but he's in Chicago now. Weird how things work out. Edited to add, no clue he was gay. It was high school and we never did more than kiss, hold hands because we dated as freshmen and grew apart. We did go to a few dances together, and to this day he's the best dance partner I've ever had. On or off Broadway? These days, she spends most of her time in her grave. I also choose this guy's dead high school crush. Got back together with him after 38 years apart. We had 8 wonderful years before he died of cancer. He's been gone 3 years now and the loss is still fresh. But I am so glad we had those 8 years. She's married, 2 kids. I think she's a stay-at-home mom, but I'm not 100% on that. We were best friends from like age 8, lived down the street from each other our whole lives. After HS we fell out of touch, and although I've thought about her from time to time, I never looked her up. About a year ago her mom added me on FB, so I did a little light stalking. Saw she was married with kids and left well enough alone. I'm happy for her. She is a therapist and happily married. How does that make you feel? Tell me more about that. I'm just here hoping to find out I was someone's high school crush. Who knows? Maybe everyone's high school crush was you. Maybe I should find out by hanging out in my van outside of high schools every day. I was actually thinking about her the other week. She graduated and never got on social media, so I never was able to befriend her on Facebook. None of my friends even remembers her. I describe what she looked like and everything, so I'm thinking she never existed and I'm just crazy. Maybe she was Tyler Durden. I don't think so, pal. She met someone like a decade ago and they've been married for many years now. He's a good dude and I'm happy for her. They are both good people. Great attitude. You just don't see the tears. He's on a snowboard trip with our 11-year-old daughter. Damn, I guess they just cut out the third wheel. He's married, had 2 fabulous kids, him and his wife own a ranch where it looks gorgeous. I'm divorced, unemployed, trying to restart my life in my mid-40s and it's hard. So, for those who are all he might be miserable, you never know. I actually keep in good touch with him, and can confirm he is happy. I'm not bitter. Well, I sometimes have waves of bitterness, but not at him, just at life in general, and I am holding myself together. Just remember you're only seeing the highlight reel of his life. Hang in there. IDK. She has her curtains closed so I can't look in. But is her door locked? Divorced after cheating on his ex-wife and trying to wiggle his way into my life. No thanks. How's he tried to wiggle into your life? With his peen. She was an exchange student who I was absolutely over the moon for. We had a few dates and I think she was fairly sweet on me, but didn't want to get too involved with someone who would soon be on the other side of the world from her. And I think a little bit of cultural stigma at play as well. Now she's a professional athlete of some note. I think she competes with her national team. Naturally I still have vague notions of us getting back together someday. I'm not sure, but I know he did get a teaching degree, so hopefully he got a good job and is enlightening kids somewhere. I actually went to the same college that he did, and just before he graduated I simply sat down with him and confessed that he had been my crush back in high school. He turned bright red and said he was surprised he was anyone's crush. He was caught up in sports and extra classes and didn't date much. He thanked me and gave me a hug, and somewhere in my head my 16-year-old self shrieked with glee. She's married to a guy in the MLB. Before me she dated another guy who made it to the NBA. I'm decent at ear pong and throwing a frisbee though. So, she's hot. From the sounds of it, ungodly hot. Married to me. Edit. And right now she is mad at me for spending too much time on Reddit. She sent me a Facebook message recently when I updated my relationship status with my current girlfriend saying she's like me since high school. We're 25 now. I haven't lived in my hometown in 3 years and I'm in a very happy relationship now. Maybe you should have told me this when I was really into you and we went to school together. But what do I know? Obviously break up with current GF to go out with a girl who liked you back in high school and didn't decide to tell you till 7 years after you graduated. I hear the makings of the new Hallmark Christmas movie. I haven't kept up with them, but this question inspired me to look them up on Facebook. One of them is studying political science at Yale and will be starting law school in the fall. The other one hasn't posted anything on Facebook in years, but his profile picture is a photo of him drinking Jack straight out of the bottle. One is happily married to her wife and serving the military. The other is in the FBI. I think I have a type. She's spiraling out of control due to severe mental health issues. She refuses treatment and it's on any attempt from anyone to give her advice on how to cope with it. She's afraid of treatment but can't seem to do anything about it on her own. Ironically, she's in school to become a psychologist. He's married to his high school girlfriend. When I was a sophomore he was a senior and I wrote him a note and asked him out to get coffee. He was so polite about turning me down. Todd, you beautiful man. If you're reading this, hi and thanks for not crushing a 16-year-old to pieces. Edit. For everyone asking, he told me he was very flattered I had asked him on a date and politely declined because he was in love with his girlfriend, now wife. He was cordial and honest. After that he would wave to me in the hallway when we passed each other. Everyone should be nice like Todd. Todd, how you did IT again? He is a high school financial literacy teacher at my daughter's high school. True story, when I was a freshman, he was a senior. He spread word around that he liked me and wanted to hang out. We got to know each other. He asked me to homecoming. I was so excited. We go to homecoming with another couple and this lick ditches me at the dance for the girl from the other couple who went with us. It was a setup. The guy was too scared to ask me out so he had Liquid do it and they set this whole thing up. 2013 or so, Liquid finds me on Facebook, sends a friend request. I accept thinking, man, fuck this mother ducking piece of it. But I wonder what he is up to. A few weeks later, Liquid and another dude we went to school with ask me out for coffee to catch up. The MLM pitch. They didn't want to catch up. They wanted to pitch me their Orwin Woodward cult couple's financial freedom pyramid scheme. I was so ducking mad. He got me again. Imagine my surprise when I learned that this piece of human excrement is a ducking financial literacy teacher and his class is required to graduate. I've seen the guy in passing at parent-teacher conferences and hold it, he is visually massively uncomfortable. I know he knows who I am and he knows what a piece of it I think he is and that he is a pyramid scheme shill. I cannot wait until parent-teacher conferences in fall of 2020. Like I am counting down. I want him to have to sit across from me in a professional setting and explain his curriculum to me, and I have questions for him about his teachings. TLDR. Turns out he was a huge piece of it and then he grew up to be a bigger piece of it. If you're seeing this, duck you Nick. Please ducking, like and subscribe.